Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm making quinoa. I have black quinoa here and white quinoa. I'm going to make 1.5 cups using this regular cup. This is a regular normal cup like you have with your tea or your coffee. I have the white quinoa here. I'm going to make 1.5 cups. I have half a cup of white quinoa and 1 cup black quinoa. You can use either one interchangeably. They taste the same. They're just different colors. If you have fussy kids or adults, just use the white quinoa because it looks a lot more like rice or couscous. Quinoa is very good for you. It's very healthy. It has low glycemic index, so it's good for people with diabetes. It's gluten-free and wheat-free, so people who have problems with gluten should eat it as well. It's very healthy for you. It has a lot of protein. Eating this, even though it tastes more or less like rice, it has as much protein as eating, a portion of steak. So it has a lot of protein and it's very good for you. The first thing you need to do is wash the quinoa thoroughly. You have to wash it very thoroughly. Otherwise, it will have a bitter taste. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to wash it very, very well under the tap with this sieve. I'm going to put it all in the sieve here and I'm going to wash it under the tap very, very well. Okay, so I've washed my quinoa here. I'm just letting it drain in the sieve. I washed it very well. And I'm going to cook this like I would cook rice. So I have some olive oil. I have 1 medium onion, 2 chicken stock cubes, 3 sticks of cinnamon or cassia bark. It's very similar to cinnamon. It's called cassia bark. I have here ground cinnamon or cassia bark. I have ground ginger. And here I have powdered ground elaichi, or is known as cardamon powder. Elaichi or cardamom powder. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to chop up the onions and put it on the pan, and I'll show you how I cook it all together. And this is 1.5 cups. 1 cup black quinoa and half cup of white quinoa. I told you can use all white if you have fussy kids or adults because it looks more like rice. There's also red quinoa. I believe they're all the same, all healthy, all very good for you. They're just different colors. Okay, so I'm going to start by chopping up the onions in small pieces and putting it in the pan. Okay, so I have my rice and the cinnamon or cassia bark sticks in here. And next I'm going to add in a tablespoon of olive oil to fry it. Okay, once the onions are a nice golden brown color like this, I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of a curry and garam masala mix. Is it curry powder and garam masala mix? I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons. And you want that to fry together. Next I'm going to put in the chicken stock now before adding in the boiling water. Okay, the spice is frying up very nicely together. And I put in the 2 chicken stock here. Next, I'm going to add in the boiling water. I'm going to add in 2 cups of boiling water. Okay, so I've added 3 cups of water here. 3 cups of boiling water. However much quinoa you're cooking, you need to add double the amount of water. So I'm cooking 1.5 cups of quinoa. So I have 3 cups of boiling water here. So you just bring this to the boil. And before it starts boiling, we're going to add in our spices. Okay, first thing I'm adding is a third of a teaspoon of ginger powder. Next is more or less half a teaspoon of cinnamon or cassia powder. And the last spice is a quarter of a teaspoon of cardamon or elaichi powder. You only need a quarter because it's very strong. You can add even less. Cardamom powder has a very strong taste, so don't add too much, otherwise you'll ruin the food. Okay, so this is almost coming to a boil, and next we're going to add in the quinoa. Okay, next to go in is the drained quinoa that we washed very well. Remember, you have to wash it very well. And I told you before, if you have fussy kids or adults, just cook the white quinoa because it looks a lot more like rice. Some people, they act funny with the black quinoa or the red quinoa. It might look strange to them. So just put in the white one. Cook the white one only if you have fussy kids or adults. Once the water starts bubbling like this, you need to turn the heat down because I've been cooking everything on high heat from the beginning. So once it starts bubbling like this, you turn the heat down to, turn the heat down to low. Turn it to low heat on your stove or your hob. And then we're going to cover it, put a good firm lid on it. You know I have a makeshift lid because I don't have a proper lid. But you guys use a proper lid so you don't burn yourselves or anything. So let's mix it once or twice like this. This is basically how you would cook rice. Once it comes to boil, you put a lid on it. Okay, you can see my lid is on here. Now I'm just going to leave this for 15 minutes. Just ignore it for 15 minutes on low heat and it'll be ready. Don't check it, don't stir it. Just leave it with the lid on. 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. But I'll check in 15 minutes just to see if it's cooked. It should have the same texture as rice. But trust me, I was avoiding quinoa for a long time. But it is delicious. It is more delicious than rice, in my opinion. It tastes even better than rice. So don't avoid it, and it's much better for you. Okay, it's been 20 to 25 minutes on medium-high heat. All the water is gone, and this is ready. This is just like rice, delicious. So there it is. The quinoa. I'm having it with a cucumber salad with lemon. So I'm having it with my cucumber salad, and I'm also going to put on top of here, I have some of my rice toppings that I made in my other video, Somali rice toppings. So I'm going to put my Somali rice toppings on top of this. You can basically eat this like you eat rice, with anything that you would eat with rice, like curry, chicken, whatever you want. Basically, the treat is like rice. I find it beautiful, the white and the black quinoa mix. But if you don't like this, you could just have it. You can just have the white ones if you have a fussy family. It looks more like rice, and it's got the same texture as rice. But I think it tastes even better than rice. I used to avoid quinoa for a long time, but then the first time I had it, it was delicious, and I prefer this much more to rice, and it's much better for you, much more healthier. It's got a lot of protein, a lot of vitamins and minerals. I'm reheating now the Somali rice toppings I have in my other YouTube video. They were in the fridge. I've had them for like 3-4 days. So I'm just reheating some of it up because I made so much of it. So I'm just reheating it up now, some of it, and I'm going to put it on top of my quinoa, like I would put on top of my rice. I'll show you the final product. Okay, so here is the final product with the Somali rice toppings. There's a separate video for that. Please like my videos and subscribe. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.